Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. May the victims rest in peace. That's Kaylee Congalvis, Madison Morgan, Xana Conodle, and Eaton Chapin. Condolence to their families. May justice be served. Today, I would like to go over the timeline, or the little we know of the timeline, of Eaton and Xana. I believe that is extremely crucial in this case, because Madison Morgan and Kaylee Congalvis, its timelines was quite clear from the start. Idaho Moscow police came out in the press conference and they gave us the timeline of Kaylee and Maddie. They were last seen at the grub truck Twitch video. And they left around 1:56 at night. They came to the grub truck with John Jack Showalter, but they left by themselves. Jack Showalter did not look very happy about them leaving, but they left. Xana and Eaton, its timelines were always in question, because law enforcement Chief Fry came out and asked the public. He asked the students of the college if they knew about the whereabouts of Eaton and Xana. From 9:45 in the evening to 1:45 in the morning. Apologize, actually, from 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. Xana Conodle's father, Jeffrey, said clearly that he spoke to his daughter Xana that same night the horrific quadruple murders took place. He said Xana said that she was going to be at home, order some pizzas, and stay at home. He said that was at 12 midnight. We haven't got any updates about Xana and Eaton's timeline. I'm sure the police know more than us. But what happened? Did Xana stay at home like she told her father? May she rest in peace? Was she by herself at home? Was Eaton with her? Because the police told us that Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen came home at 1 a.m. at night. In every case, it's important to get the timeline right, because if there's missing parts in the timeline, then it'll be hard to figure out what could have happened and when it happened. These 4 students are somebody's children. These 4 students are somebody's siblings. These 4 students, his life was cut too short. When we're usually in the age of 20, 21, at least when we were 20, 21, at least in my age, when I was 20, 21, the world did not have social media. Let's be honest. Even if the world has social media, we didn't have things like Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and all these other apps that are crucial to people in that age. But that is the age where we usually trust mostly everyone we meet. I'm not talking about strangers, but your college students, your friends, and you meet new people along the way. Idaho, Moscow seems to be a small town, a small community where people know each other, especially the students. And I guess the girls trusted many people. The reason I say that is because we've seen police body cam videos of the parties, people who even opened the door and said, I live across the street and I don't even know who owns this house or who lives here. It's not just where the girls lived in Kings Road. Before the girls even moved there, a former roommate said that house was a house where people used to visit often. Many students used to come over, because I can imagine when you live in the college campus, there are many rules you have to follow and obey. But when you live off the campus, you have more privilege. We heard Kaylee Congalvis' sister, Alivira, say that many people had the code to the keys, to the key lock or keypad. And let's remember that there must have been over hundreds of DNAs of different people in the house, because obviously these are young people, 6 roommates. Actually, one wasn't living there anymore. But the other 5, Eaton used to come over. I'm sure Kaylee's friends, Maddie's friends, Xana's friends, Dylan's friends, Bethany's friends. So you can imagine how many people have been into that house. How many people have come to visit, come to party, come to socialize. So we're talking about a lot of DNA. We've heard from the news channels that there was a fight in the Sigma Chi, the fraternity boys' house. That was just 3 to 4 minutes walk from King's Road, from the victim's house. What was the fight about? We've allegedly heard rumors that it was between Eaton and another Sigma Chi boy. So the actions that happened that night could have led to consequences. Like they say, every action has a reaction. Allegedly, it was about the other boy using steroids or something, and Eaton had a go at him. There was a party in the Sigma Chi. I'm just thinking out loud here. The boy that got insulted maybe was with his girlfriend, was maybe trying to impress other girls and other boys. You all know how it is in that age. Could he have taken it a step further? Allegedly. Just questions to ask. We have John Jack Showalter, who lived very close to the girl's house. The girls left without him. We could see him waving his hand off. He was upset, obviously. Then we have Kaylee and Maddie, may they rest in peace, calling Jack D from 225 up to 10 to 3, I believe. They called him 10 times. That has never sat right with me. I know that Kaylee's parents said, Kaylee's sister and her mother, that Kaylee does that when she's having a drink or two. I can imagine that. That is completely normal. They share a dog together. She's dated Jack for a very long time, a couple of years. So there could be feelings and emotions still lingering on. Did she call him because of that? Or did they call Jack to find out what Adam told Jack? Or did they call Jack because they saw somebody or some people outside the house and they were scared? Why did Kaylee's phone go after that? Why did it switch off after that? Could have something have happened close to 3 o'clock when Kaylee Gongalves' phone went off? Could somebody have knocked the door? Or could they have heard noises from the sliding door or something? And they thought that they saw someone who looked like Jack? Or they may have wanted Jack to come over because they were scared? What were the Sigma Chi boys doing outside? There was a fight, obviously. There was the alcohol minor police body cam going on in Banfield. We saw 4 figures running. I'm not saying they were from the Sigma Chi, but they could possibly be from the Sigma Chi because they were running from the direction of the girl's house and they're running towards Sigma Chi and the other side direction, close by. Have those 4 or 5 people been spoken to? How come they're never discussed about? We have 3 unidentified male DNAs in and out of the crime scene. So who has been inside that house? The surviving roommates are witness and victims, possibly. But there's a lot of questions to be asked. What did Dylan really see? I've thought this about it non-stop. Because let's not forget, Brian Kohlberger has the snow vision, what's it called? Disorder. I wonder if he can clearly see well at night. If the house was too dark, and if he hasn't been in that house, you'll have seen the layouts of the house. He would have tripped. There's steps almost everywhere. How would he know whose room is where? Did he install cameras inside the house? Why does Brian Kohlberger want to speak to Bethany Funk? Does she know Brian? Does Dylan know Brian? Does Bethany Funk know BK's whereabouts that night? Because let's not forget, Brian Kohlberger said that if he speaks to BF, it'll help to exonerate him. He said even at the start when he got arrested in Pennsylvania. Did they find the others? Who are the others? And he always said he's eager to be exonerated. What does he know? Did the suspects, alleged suspects or killers, trigger warning, come from somewhere local? Maybe they came on foot. Maybe they did not have a mobile device with them. They must have left their phones at home. Example like the Fortune statement said. Isn't it strange that the Sigma Chi doesn't have any cameras? It doesn't seem like many people had cameras or dash cams in Moscow, Idaho. Could that be the reason that people could have easily planned a vicious crime like that? Because they knew there wasn't any cameras? Why was the front door left open? Was it to distract the crime scene investigation? Or did they leave in a hurry? Or was there multiple killers? Some could have gone from behind and some could have gone from the front. The crime scene forensic team were actually taking pictures in front of the house of a footstep, more towards the side, towards the building, towards those brown buildings, but in the property itself. I know that we all want these 4 innocent victims to get justice and the families to get the justice that they really need so that they can I wouldn't say move on, but so that they can at least know what exactly happened to their loved ones. And that is what we are trying to help them to do. It's sad, it's heartbreaking that 911 wasn't called until 8 hours later. I hope that comes up in the trial. Were the roommates threatened maybe not to call 911 to a certain timing? It's strange that many people in Idaho, Moscow said that it was an awfully quiet night. So how could they not hear noises and yelling and all? Were the windows used to go up to the 2nd and 3rd floor? Could that be possible? Because there was a ladder underneath. What does the DoorDash delivery got to do with this case? It can't be just a coincidence that the DoorDash delivery came and 2 minutes later the intruder came, the suspect or the killer or killers. I would usually expect when somebody does horrific crimes like this to move far away, to be on the run. Why would Brian Kohlberger have just done a quadruple murder and decide to stay 6.5 weeks later. It didn't look like he was in a rush to leave. But yet again, allegedly we have John Showalter, who drove almost 6 hours to Boise, Idaho. Why? Those are not my words. That was Steve Gongalves, Kaylee's father, who said that. He believed they all were ruled out too soon, and I agree with him. Why did Murphy bark? He barked once or twice. I'm sure a dog would have barked extremely loudly when somebody, like a thief, a robber, whatever comes in, a murderer, whatever, unless they know the person. But if all these people were partying in the house before and knew of the 4 victims and visited the house, I would assume many of them knew Murphy. How could multiple people call 911 and say somebody was unconscious on the floor and wouldn't wake up? Wasn't there any trace of blood? Didn't the coroner say that the whole place was a bloody crime scene? What are we missing here? Did they take a lie test of the surviving roommates, of the Sigma Chi boys, allegedly? John Jack Showalter, Jack D, the people that Adam, people in the corner club? Just a normal question. Because that would have been the right thing to do. Anyone who came in contact with the 4 victims, that means the whole of Sigma Chi, whoever was in that party, they should have swabbed them. I just want justice for these 4 victims. I'm not accusing anyone, but we have the right to ask the questions. If you don't ask the questions, we will never get the answers. We just don't want justice to be served. We want the correct justice to be served. There's a big difference. We don't want to send someone to their deathbed without knowing that it's the person who did it. What if we send the wrong person to capital murder and the right people who did it are around like nothing happened? That wouldn't be fair. These 4 innocent people deserve their justice here on earth and in the heaven above. Please like, share, and subscribe. Condolence to the families. Rest in peace, Kaylee, Jane, Gongalves, Madison May, Morgan, Xana Conodal, and Eaton Chapin.